Broadcasting all over the world at urbanbroadcastmedia.com, delivering love and inspiration 24/7. This is UBM Praise. The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
A young man that you all know is Joe the Policeman from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama. I want you to put your hands together and welcome him to the stage. Big round of applause.
Let's go.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
What's his name?
Sir Walter Jones.
Whose show is this?
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
Say it again.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who you with?
Sir Walter Jones.
One more again.
Sir Walter Jones.
The Sir Walter Jones Show. Co-host Alvin Carter. We are a Christian talk show in where we tackle all the hot topics in a believer's walk. Wednesday is Music Business Night. We feature new and old artists. We talk about the music ministry in churches, choirs, musicians, music directors, etc. And we talk about publishing, record deals, ASCAP, etc.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
What's his name?
Sir Walter Jones.
Whose show is this?
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
Say it again.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Nietzsche TV today. I'm so excited that you stopped by, and so I got this guitar in my hands and I'm kind of trying to rock out a little bit, and I know you guys want to know whether or not I can actually play, but you're going to have to wait until the next Nietzsche TV segment to see if I can actually rock this thing out. Actually, maybe a few Nietzsche TV segments, all right? So let's get into this topic today, all right? So there's always a lot of questions about whether or not musicians should get paid. Church musicians, those who are actually members of the church and they also play. Typically, a band will comprise of a musical director, possibly an organist, a keyboardist, a bass player, a guitar player, a drummer. So there's a couple questions that I want to pose to you today. Number one, does your minister of music get paid at your church? The person who is the key person who runs the music. This is typically the person who also handles all praise team and choir rehearsals and things like that. Do they get paid? Number two, are you one of those people? Are you one of those musicians at a church that does get paid? If you are a musician at your church and you get paid and you're the MD, do those under you also get paid? Meaning like the support, or what we would technically consider the support musicians, which would be the guitarist, the bongo player, the chimes player, the saxophonist, things like that. Do they get paid? If you're a pastor and you do pay your musicians, tell me why you do it. What are the benefits that you've seen? If you are a church leader and you think that they should not get paid, I want to hear what your reason is why you think they shouldn't get paid. Some will say that musicians should not get paid, especially if they're members of a church, because their talent was given to them by the Lord, so therefore they should freely give. But then others will say, well, yes, the talent was given, but it also took them time to build education in that talent. Some may have had to go to school. Some may have had to take lessons. Some had to do a lot of practice. And for that, they should be compensated. The other reason that they feel they should be compensated is because not only are they showing up for what the general public sees, the general public just sees them in service on Sunday mornings, but they don't see that they had to practice throughout the week, or that they had to come to a choir rehearsal, or that they had to come to a musician's rehearsal, which takes time away from their family or their friends or their schoolwork or whatever. So oftentimes people say that they should get paid. So I want to know, what are your thoughts about musicians getting paid? Is there really a benefit? I mean, typically what we know is that if you pay someone to do a job, then they're going to be there when you ask them to be there. There's not going to be any questions about that. If you don't pay them and they're kind of just coming on their own free will, then you're subject to their availability for them to show up. And that's not just with musicians. That's with everything, not just in the church, but, in general, that we found that if you pay people, typically they have a commitment to show up and do whatever it is that you've hired them to do. So I kind of want to get an idea of what you all thought about that. If you think it's beneficial, if you think it's right, what does the word say about this type of thing, about paying those that work within the church? But then, the argument comes in, okay, well, if the head musician does get paid, then what about the ushers? What about the ushers? What about the greeters? What about the praise team leader? What about the praise team members? Are they going to start getting a paycheck too? It's like, if you do start paying someone, does it start to trickle down where everybody starts kind of nitpicking? Or does the church in general just recognize that, okay, the MD just gets paid and nobody else does? So I kind of want to hear what you have to think about that. And I know you guys are going to let me know. And I want to thank you again for stopping by Nietzsche TV. God bless you and have a super cool rockin' day, peeps.
Shazam!
Hey, you, singers, musicians, writers, and producers. Feel like your career is on a treadmill? Tune in to the Sir Walter Jones Show, and we have tips or the solution for you.
Wednesday.
Hello, everybody. This is the Sir Walter Jones Show. I am he, Sir Walter Jones. It is Wednesday, Music Business Day. Today we sit aside around the microphones and talk about music business, music ministry. If you are a musician, singer, you play the bells, you're a poet, didn't know it. And if you are, some of you who are do a spoken word, okay? Some of you are illusionists. Believe it or not, we've got them out there. We've got Christian, not musicians, but magicians. They're out there. We've got,
I've seen them.
Mm-hmm. We've got mimes out there. We got praise dancers. Everything.
Mimes?
Oh, yeah, we have mimes. Mm-hmm. A mime is a terrible thing to waste.
Mime.
Yeah, they're there. And all of them have the opportunity to make a living doing what they do. Okay, trust me, we're going to create even more stuff to do in the church. It's coming. And we're going to do this. And today, we those of you who listened to us yesterday, we were going to do a Mary show, but I decided, no, I'm going to focus on this subject because it's a lot. I got a lot that I want to cover with our guest here today. He's got some news he wants to tell you about, and it's going to help a lot of you out there who are starving artists. And so, or you're not starving, you're eating pretty good, but it can help you enhance even more. So those of you who are looking for the Mary Show, we're doing the Mary Show next week Wednesday. And if you listened to the show today at 12 o'clock, this station here, then you heard Annette Harris from the Mind, Body, and Soul show talk about this trap music, T-R-A-P music from Campbell, what's her name? Erica Campbell, okay? And really what it is and where it comes from, on and on and on. You go to Spreaker.com and type in the Mind, Body, and Soul show with Annette Harris, and you'll be able to hear that show about trap music. And then next week, what we're going to do, we're going to play all of their hits from the very beginning until today, find out how did their music affect the youth of today and what did it do, like we did for Kirk Franklin and Walter Hawkins and Andre Crouch. That's what we've been on a series these past few Wednesdays. Okay, so today we're talking about how much should musicians and singers be paid? How much should they be paid? But before we can answer that question, we have to answer the question, should they be paid? All right? We'll spend just a couple minutes on it, not a whole lot of time. You heard Nietzsche TV talk about, ask you guys the question. Well, if the musician should get paid, shouldn't the usher get paid? The tambourine player get paid? The guy who plays his nose in church, if it makes a sound, should he get paid? Okay, all these are viable, great questions, and Facebook has already chimed in on them. Let's go ahead and do a roll call here to see who's here. I do see Jason Taylor. I see Michael Drayton who presented a really great question and an answer. Nidra Brooks is here. Nidra's giving a shout out to our guest here. But I want to go to Michael Drayton, who said, wait, let me go back up. Oh, when I asked the question on Facebook, if you're a starving artist, and I mentioned the pay scale of the performers and music ministers and what have you, he said you get what you negotiate, not what you deserve. All right. Now, he made a very profound statement that some of you will disagree with it. Okay. And we're going to talk about that, why he said that. And it's very important that we bring that out. Pennal Johnson is back on the show, everybody. Hello,
Hey,
Pennal. How are you?
I'm blessed. How you doing, man?
Man, it's exciting to always have you on the show. We hear you every day, actually, because when we're transitioning into our breaks and what have you, that funk,
that nasty
it be
funk.
so nasty, man. It be
Boom.
there
you go.
There you go. That just nasty.
Slap the taste
out your mouth. Woo, just
It's
so
Wednesday. It's Saturday, but I got my Wednesdays on.
just nasty.
Wednesday socks, that is.
Eric Jewel Hayes he's on another post somewhere else, so I don't know if he's listening or not, but I tagged him in this, and he's so bring your comments over to my regular post, Eric, if you can. Pastor Eric out of Indianapolis, but he says, as a rule, this is ministry. I believe modern culture, especially in black churches, place a great importance on music ministry. You will go to a church without good ushers. You won't stay at the church with a sorry music department. Wow. Yeah, that's something there.
Yeah.
Dr. Johnson, how you doing, man?
Good.
Man, you've been kind of busy lately.
Yeah, God has been really opening up some serious doors.
Yeah. You've been really traveling, and we've been getting some of the hits on Facebook on where you've been and going and what have you. My brother Larry Jones will be calling in probably after 4:30, and we're just going to dig into this. Okay, so real quick, guys. Payment, musicians. Should church musicians get paid? And what are the qualifications of them getting paid? Is there an age limit? Is there meaning should they have some seniority before they get paid?
I don't think there is an age limit on when they should get paid.
Okay.
I think it's based upon their ability.
Mm-hmm.
In as much as child stars get paid when they perform on theater stages or on the silver screen. If a child is talented enough to render a service, he should receive payment for service.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's slavery.
And what about the ones who are always using the defense that you're doing it for the Lord and you don't get paid for it?
Well, until you bring me before good and mighty men,
Yeah.
then my gift ain't making room for me no other way but through the pay.
That's it. Okay. What do you have to say about that, John?
Well, my thought in this whole cycle, it has to go back to the pastor first.
Okay.
Because if the pastor allocates and allows opportunity for that to happen, for musicians to get paid, then the focus shouldn't be on the musician. The focus should be on the pastor, because he wants that. And if there's a situation where the pastor wants to have a professional musician to give him professional outcomes, then, of course, the musician that's working in that capacity should get paid, because the whole concept of a musician, that being a job, that's very legitimate. It's just as legitimate as being a banker, being a doctor, or being any other profession. Because in order to get a great outcome from a musician, it requires experience, maturity, dedication, and being faithful.
Sure. To that call and to that meaning the call, not so much the call as a musicianship, but call to where he's working.
Exactly.
That church. Do you guys agree with Michael Drayton's comment that you get what you negotiate, not what you deserve?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. Explain.
Negotiation consists of amount of payment for an amount of service. You may have the ability to do several things, but the venue may not have the ability to pay you for all the things you do.
True.
So if they tell you this is what they want to pay, and you fail to tell them what you will do for that payment,
Yeah.
you're subject to be asked to do almost any and everything that you're capable to do,
That's true.
but never get paid what you're worth.
Right.
I know of a young man who negotiated a deal and relocated, and once he got down there, they told him, we need you to do this, this, that, and this, but he thought he was going there strictly to do music ministry. and they had him doing music ministry. They had him doing toilet ministry. They had him doing office ministry because they said this is a full-time position. You have an office, but your job description includes all of these different things. He failed to get clear-cut understanding of what it meant to him and them. So he got paid, but he didn't get what he was worth. He got what he negotiated.
Yeah, and that's him. And Jesus alluded to that with the payment and the wages and what have you. We can go into that. We might have to do it tomorrow. But Johnson, do you believe that?
Yes, I agree with what Alvin said, and I also agree with what Mike Drake is saying. That part about what you deserve is always subject to somebody's opinion.
Oh,
yes,
that's good. Good stuff.
Now, in order to hold the thing that we have to deal with before we even get to the money part of it, and what musicians run to do so quick sometimes, some musicians, is that you got to have a full-fledged art of negotiating.
Yes.
Negotiating is in 3 parts to me. You talk about it, you write about it, and you sign about it.
That's good stuff. That's great.
Because when you write it down, there's a plan. There's an objective. There's a duty, the set of duties. And then once you read it and you seek counsel for, is this a good thing for me?
It's time to pour on that one. You should have been pouring right there.
I'm saving my pour.
He ran out. I ran out yesterday. It's like, and when you find out if this situation is good for you by seeking good counsel, sometimes even legal counsel, seeking God's face and having your own gut feeling. Once you come to that decision, then you're saying, as you're signing that contract, this is something that I'm willing to live with for this amount of time that this written vision is on here for.
Yeah, that's good. He nailed it. The now Pastor Eric Hayes saying here, Alvin, tell me if you agree. He says, I believe pay is related to responsibility. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
Because it should be, as he so eloquently stated, when you write about it, what's written down is expectations and responsibilities. So whatever the responsibility is will then determine what the negotiational salary should be. Don't negotiate. I mean, don't tell me I need you to do this, that, and this, the work of 3 people.
Sure.
And pay me the salary of a half.
That's good.
Don't give me part-time pay for full-time employment. Now, some people fall for it. They accept it, and that's what they negotiated. That's not what they deserve.
Yeah. Andre L. Carter is tuned in. He's the godfather of gospel internet radio. Hello, Andre. It's so good to have you here.
Godfather of gospel radio.
Oh, yeah. This man he's been way before us. He was.
Yeah, for real.
Come on now.
I know Andre.
Andre's been around, man, a long time.
Always around.
Hey, Andre, this is
everywhere.
PJ, man.
Yeah, give him a shout out.
Always around.
Everywhere.
I'm surprised he wasn't in my cousin.
Oh, right. He probably didn't know about it. He would have been there. He supports absolutely everybody, man.
Yes,
I love that, brother. But I let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Your first payment in church was how much?
$15.
Okay. How long ago was that? Remember?
That was in 1985.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You was playing what? Organ, piano? What were you?
I was playing organ. My auntie was on the piano. It was at Atlanta Zion Bible Baptist Church.
Is that right?
116th and Halsted.
It was $15 a week.
$15 a week, and then my uncle made me pay tithes.
Yeah, I know. Come on now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
I'm like, I have had it on, but I'm like, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, and we're going to talk about the tithing.
When my mother discovered what was happening, then it changed. But you have to know my mother to understand what that meant.
Oh, sure. Now,
you laughing.
Right. What was your responsibility for that with that $15?
At that time, I was elated to get anything and happy for the opportunity. As I was a novice, I was 15 years old.
Okay.
15 or 16 years old. 15, yeah. And all I had to do was come and play the organ, accompany my aunt and the choir. So it was a learning opportunity as well.
On Sunday only?
Sunday morning in rehearsals.
In rehearsal.
I mean, you couldn't play Sunday if you didn't know what was being played for Sunday. So
Absolutely.
Rehearsal.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what did that do for you, though? $15. Okay, now you're getting paid to do something that you apparently loved.
Yes.
All right. Now there's something you're feeling good about it, and then someone comes to you and says, "That's it, 15, man. You know how much they paying me over across the street?"
Well, later on, as I developed and grew, that's exactly what happened. They began to say, well, they didn't ask how much I was getting paid. They made an offer to me.
Okay.
Hey, we need a musician here, and we're paying $40 a week.
Sure.
And I was like, $40?
Yeah.
Yes! It wasn't far from the house.
Right.
So I talked to my mother about it, because
Okay.
she's a musician, and she's like, take it.
Right. Right.
And I even talked to my uncle, who was a pastor at the time, and well, it's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I understand you need to grow and you need some experience and, this and that. So in my case, he introduced me to payment and gave me my opportunity.
Sure.
Whereas I cut my teeth on him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I made my mistakes with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on ahead and did other things.
Sure. Sure.
I made more mistakes and cut teeth with them. Ironically, though, that place, my mother, who was a musician, ended up going and investigating. She covered and protected me, and that could be a whole nother show of what young musicians will get encountered by and encountered with.
Mm-hmm.
So me not knowing the stories behind the Billy Prestons and the various others, she knew.
She knew.
She's a child musician herself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So every place I went to play for, if she hadn't heard of him or knew him,
yeah,
she went there with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she would come along saying, he's young, he don't really know what to do, so I'm going to guide him along.
That's good. That's good.
But later I found out she was protecting her son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You did you get paid in church to play the bass at any time?
The first time I was introduced to payment, Calvin Rogers' dad during that time, Willie Rogers.
Yeah.
I was my
Miss him.
first church that I played at. I think I got paid. It was sporadic payments. I was working at a Corinthian Temple Church of God in Christ on the west side.
Yeah.
And I was there with Willie Rogers.
Sure.
And I think I got somewhere between 50, 60 every time I would get paid.
Yeah.
And then we played at Liberty Temple Baptist Church.
Sure.
Not too far from here.
Yeah, that's right.
And
I played at Liberty too.
Right up the street.
it was in that ballpark
For a bass player.
for a bass player.
And how long ago you remember? This is 90s? When was this?
Yeah, this was like early 90s.
Yeah. Now that that was hard for a bass player.
That was triumphant pay at that time.
Yes, for a bass player. Matter of fact, for a bass player to even get paid, first of all, was not easy. And
They
then
didn't value that instrument.
they didn't
back then.
value no. And then for him to even get paid that much was
and then I didn't even have to drive. Willie Rogers drove me. He came and picked me up.
Wow.
He really kind of groomed me in that whole area.
Mm-hmm.
He always wore suits. He always was clean cut.
Mm-hmm.
He always was on top of his musician game. I met him. I did a recording session with Trinity All Nations in 1990. And I think from those gigs kind of prepped me for that recording session because that was like my first recording session with Larry Roberts Sr.
Sure.
in that church.
Absolutely.
And during that time, my focus wasn't on money because I grew up in Church of God in Christ.
Sure.
And where it was like...
That makes sense. It wasn't...
You know,
you wasn't getting
and I came up at Greater Love Church of God in Christ where
Sure.
it was like, it was all about playing.
The love of the ministry.
Yeah, just love of playing, and that thing. And when money came a factor to me is like once I got older and responsibilities hit. And then at that time I was working a regular job.
Sure.
And as I got older,
People's
things
Gas,
grew.
right?
People's Gas.
I remember.
I worked there
Before
for
that, it was
11
UPS.
years.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was UPS before that.
He was in my backyard reading my meter like, Pennal, what you do? You hungry, man? I made him a sandwich. You hungry? He said, man, I'm checking your gas. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, man.
I remember that blue Hyundai.
Oh, man. Yes. Yeah.
Took him 2 days to get home.
Man.
The good old days.
Yes.
Now, I will say, though, payment for musicians and churches is territorial. It's regional. For instance, Chicago has one pay scale. Indianapolis have another pay scale. I want y'all to know this.
In New York, another.
Yes, sir. You don't make the money in Indianapolis that you do in Chicago. Ask me how I know. Okay, I have several musicians in Indianapolis call me up all the time and says, I am willing to travel to Chicago 2-3 times a week just to get a gig. Because they're the gigs here, they're not plentiful at Chicago, and then when you do get them, they don't pay that much. You know, they only pay enough for me to pay a light bill, a gas bill. I'm done. All right, and so they're like, "Come on, help me out." And I'm talking about some cats who
can play.
Yes, they can. Man, they can make a nice living here. So Chicago, we have a lot of churches, and the demand is high. A young man could he'd be 15, and he could be making several $100s. All right, and we all know he ain't worth it. Because he can't play a hymn.
Or her.
Yeah, exactly. Or her, right. But it's about what Drayden says. It's about the negotiation. Not so much about what you're worth. And it may not seem fair, but it's, Pennal Johnson said, the pastor, if he approved it, my first big gig, okay, before I go there, I got paid $25 like you, 1985. Mm-hmm. All right. I was like, wow, y'all paying me to do something I like? Man. I was dedicated to it. I wanted to do it, and they started paying me $25. Okay, and then the pastor says, "You know, you're such a faithful man. You know, I think we're gonna bump you up a little bit." And they doubled it, $50. I was like, "Ain't nobody in Chicago getting that kind of money." you know what I'm saying? Because I hadn't been talking to musicians. Because all my musicians friends from Pennal on around, we weren't getting paid. We were doing the midnight musicals. Who was that? On 105th off of Michigan. Fluka. Oh, we were going to Fluka. And the Fluka.
I remember those.
Yeah, that's what the original.
Midnight musicals,
Midnight musicals. Of course, Father Hayes said he's got the original, but everybody got the originals, all right? And that's where we hung out till 5 a.m. sometimes, man.
Yeah.
And that's where we got our musicianship.
The
good old days. The organ would have cassette tapes on top of the organ from musicians who were hitting the record buttons. Because they wanted to hear taking lessons.
Yes.
From Steve Harris to, gosh, name some cats back in that day. Steve,
oh, God, you just summed it up. Steve
yeah,
Harris.
Ed Showers. Yeah. This was way before Rodney East and all.
Yeah.
They were babies then.
Yes.
You know, and we were learning from them. Even Bishop, I was admiring his playing from Monument. Willie
Harmon. Back in the day, yeah. Mm-hmm. Put him on a piano, he'd do something.
Yeah, he can kick something. Yeah. Okay. So I was getting $25, and then he bumped up $50, and I was like, man, wow, this is some good money. And then you fast forward several years later, they began to see my worth. And then they realized, okay, we can't pay him no $50. We can't pay him $100. Okay, so I was negotiating because I look at the size of the church, and I think you brought that out. The size of the church really matters. You can't be asking these little small churches for $500-$600.
Yes,
you just can't. That's
they don't have it.
They don't have it. But a lot of those churches will pay this and struggle because they want to be like the other churches.
Yes,
and it's unfortunate.
And sometimes it's irresponsible.
It is very, very, very irresponsible. Okay, listen, we're going to go to a quick break. Come back with the great Pennal Johnson as we talk about this subject here. How much should musicians and singers get paid? We ain't forgot about you singers. Y'all out there trying to croak and croon and singing ditties and all these stuff. We got you. We're going to do some commercial breaks here. And I want to also play this Pastor James Doggett Sr. His question is, should church musicians be paid from the tithe? Should church musicians be paid from the tithe? He has a very interesting twist on this, and we'll talk about it right after the break. Okay? Sir Walter Jones Show.
Log on to UrbanBroadcastMedia.com and check out the many services Urban Broadcast Media provides. Whether it's social media, video production, radio broadcasting, or audio recording, we got you covered.
Do it at the gap. Get that do it up feeling. Do it up.
Yellow tag in America and save 15 to 30% on thousands of store-wide values. Go back to school in style with guys and gals fashion denim jeans now only $14.90. And terrific gals mattress plaid shirts are back at a low price of $9.90. And get guys and student size Gap Fashion Pioneer cords now just $11.90.
Fall into the gap.
Behind this sign are America's best values in jeans and shirts.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he goes. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me. Kiss sister, kiss sister, kiss sister. Wherever I go, you're gonna go.
Say what?
Kiss sister, kiss sister, kiss sister, kiss sister and me.
My Buddy and Kid Sister. Each sold separately from Play School.
You've got the look, I want to know better. You've got the look that's all together, working, playing, day or night. Jordache has the fit that's right. Jordache looks, the Jordache look.
The devil told me that I could not stand all the sin and the darkness that's spread throughout the land. Just look at the drugs and deceive. Who will be able to escape? But the word of God spoke swiftly to me. And said that God will make a way. Then the Lord said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. You must not doubt. For there is nothing too hard for me. I will work things out. Yes, I will. For now is the time to show that I am still in control. Then the Lord
Get your eyes off of what you think you might see, hey, and put all your trust in me. Grab a hold and don't let go. Hold on, life. Hallelujah. Place your feet on a solid foundation. Hallelujah. Set your eyes on Christ. Hallelujah. For He's the one who delivers. Jesus is the Lord. He is the King.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Music, though, has always been a controversial issue, but it is a blessing to the Lord when done correctly. It is a curse when done incorrectly. Let me tell you, when we talk about spirit and truth, we need to have the Spirit of God in it, but there's some people with the Spirit of God who need to leave music alone. Bad music is worse than no music. There is an opportunity in the service for everyone to participate. It's called congregational singing. But don't think that God has called you to be a singer when you are tone deaf. That's not your gift. There are those who are gifted in music, who have been given leadership abilities. I look in the scriptures and I discover that according to Nehemiah, the 13th chapter, they were actually paid from the tithe. Listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. Nehemiah 13. He says, Lord, remember I did this. They had stopped receiving tithe and offering. They had put somebody named Tobiah to live in the storehouse. God, it was wrong because the priest and the musicians and the doorkeepers, those who labored for the temple, had to go out and work in the fields because they only could give spare time to the work of the Lord. And after a long day's work, they had to try to come into a choir rehearsal and give their best to the master. And it wasn't working. So I took Tobiah's stuff and I kicked it out. I told the people, return the tithe and the offering, and now they're getting paid. Who's getting paid? The preachers, the singers, and the doorkeepers. I don't know, but there must be a verse I've not yet read where there's something spiritual about dogging our own people. We will pay a plumber top price to fix our toilets, but want to argue about giving a preacher a gratuity or a musician some money to do what they do. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Rethink that thing. Why? Oh, I got to run. Why? Why? Why rethink? Stop and think for a moment. Malachi chapter 1. Write that one down. Malachi 1. God is mad at Israel. Why is he mad at Israel, preacher? Because they were going into their flock, finding cross-eyed sheep, crippled lambs, and bringing that to God for sacrifice. God gets a little sarcastic and says, what? Try offering that mess to your earthly governor and see how he receives it. And if you wouldn't even bring that slop, if Barack Obama came to your church, why should I accept it? Malachi 1 goes on to say, as nice and as powerful as your earthly rulers are, I'm a great king. And I deserve your very best. How dare you save your best for anything but me? So what is it that's happening when we require musicians to go and work at Walmart for 8 hours a day? And then they're supposed to come at the end of a workday, set their family aside, and spend their spare time working with a choir and planning the music program of a church. If that's how we want to do it, then let's don't complain about the quality at all. Let's just take whatever we get and call it a day. But if in fact it represents a great God, then we ought to position people to use their best time and their best talents in the service of God. Well, that's a theme that I get in trouble with sometimes, but that's biblical. Our people aren't committed. They're committed. They just got a family and a job. And there are only 24 hours in a day. We need 7-day-a-week ministries, 24/7. And who's supposed to be there? You want the pastor to man the 24/7 ministry, right? Because you're not willing to pay anybody to spend their best time, energies, efforts in the work of the Lord. I'm talking to you. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Y'all don't believe in that. I know. Spirit and truth. Truth is that God has positioned some people with the gifts and talents necessary and the desire to spend their time blessing the people of God and blessing Him through music ministry. And it has not lost its inspiration because we compensate for it any more than the sermon is not inspired because you pay me to study and preach. Work with that now. Truth is that God requires the best. He wants the best. Somebody says we shouldn't be wasting money like that. Wasting money. Do you know that there is only one time in Scripture where God determined the liturgy for all of His people? It's called the sanctuary service. Do you not know that God spent so much money on that service that you can't calculate its worth? Even the high priest wore a vesture that was worth a king's ransom. Why? Isn't that too much? It's not enough for what He represents. A great God. But we want to run church operations with people who do church as a hobby. It's not biblical. It's not biblical.
Singers, musicians, writers, and producers. Feel like your career is on a treadmill? Tune in to the Sir Walter Jones Show, and we have tips or the solution for you.
Welcome back, everybody. What's his name? Jesus. Who you call?
Jesus.
When you're sick.
Jesus.
And when your doctor said you can't get well. Jesus. Food on your table. I know He's able. Hey, that was James, Pastor James Doggett. Little sound like he was dogging y'all out. Dog it.
God dog it.
God dog it. Should church musicians be paid from the tithe? Okay, we did a tithe show. Y'all go to Spreaker.com and talk about that. But he gave some scripture. Somebody asked me what was the song play before that. That was called Full and Complete, Walter Hawkins, 1989. Love Alive 4. Love Alive 4. Great project, an amazing project. Songs like Jesus is Waiting, Solid Rock, He Knows.
And the ever popular
Thank You, Lord. Yeah. Well, we call it Tragedies. Can y'all play Tragedies?
What that?
Yeah. So let's get back into this topic here about, now, you guys were talking in the break time, and which is a no-no because y'all was giving some good information. Okay, you brought up a great musician gone on. He played on the popular song, I've Had Some Good Days.
Yes.
I've had some hills to climb.
Organ drops.
And you hear all those drops. That is the great who?
Luke Austin.
Luke Austin, absolutely. Chicago
I
man.
am your father.
Luke Austin from St. Luke Church of God in Christ, right there over there, Cabrini Green area, y'all. Orleans
Just
Street.
Looking out of the window.
Mm-hmm, that's right. And there you have it. So the payment plan, the payments that's giving. Now, somebody on here, I think our friend, our high school friend, Joseph's wife.
Yes, Jackie Joseph's wife.
Yeah, I miss Jackie. Jackie is a great, man. She's saying here that payment is very crucial because she said, ask my husband, Jackie Joseph, who is a musician and a great songwriter. Believe it or not. He wrote for the Tommies and he did work with Darius Brooks and on and on. But she goes on to saying that responsibility is when you sit at the organ, keyboard, or direct and play at the same time. Therefore, you should be compensated. All right, she's preaching. I would pour, but my I have to save it for 5:30.
Make it count.
Joe Hill is it's upsetting people. I love him. He said, "How can one charge God or put a value on our service when our indebtedness to Him is infinity and?"
Tell that to the gas company, Joe. Tell it to the light company, Joe.
Yeah. See, this is how I get in trouble with you. I don't even accept speaking fees, but tell them to donate it to their benevolent fund in my name. And that's his choice.
And that's an honorable choice.
Yeah, that's his choice.
But don't condemn someone else.
Others who are doing it. And there is no scripture that says that a musician can get paid, but there are scripture that says he can get paid.
Right.
The brother, the pastor just told you, from Nehemiah through most of the scriptures dealing with tithing, it went to the Levite. Guess what the Levites were in the church?
Ta-da!
In the temple, they were the musicians and the singers. If the ushers decide they want to get paid today, they should. You know why? Because the Levites were the doorkeepers
of the church.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a problem with that. And then the Levite pays a percentage to the priest. Yeah. Absolutely.
And when you look at it, even in today's perspective, with the exception of the outside of the service,
sure.
But in the service, you actually the ushers and the musicians and the singers are more visible than the preacher.
Yeah.
Because he comes up at a certain point and does what he does. But then, but the ushers are moving. Some of them never sit down.
True.
So the choir, depending on how many songs they have to sing, the
right.
musician is always playing,
right?
Depending on what church you're at.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes even when no one's singing, they want you to play quiet music.
Sure, that's true.
So hey, they do most of the work.
Yeah.
And I'm not degrading what the preacher does because I'm a preacher.
Right.
But I mean, you look at it in perspective. But we got it backwards. That's why.
Yeah.
Maybe when the groom starts coming down the aisle and the bride is waiting at the altar, then they'll put things in order.
Well. Speaking of weddings, we all played for weddings before. You played for weddings for Johnson, right? Okay.
I hate playing for weddings.
I hate them too. I hate weddings and funerals. I hate them, and that's why I'm retiring from all that stuff. But when we get called to play for the weddings, there was a charge, there's a fee. So I could charge for the wedding, but I can't charge for the church service on Sunday. Okay, I'm not understanding the concept here. And if it's my job, that's what I do for a living, a musician. Then when the pipes break at the church, you call the guy who does it for a living, the plumber.
Yeah.
And he gets paid to do it. You don't say that you're doing God's work. So
this is the church. You should do it for free because you owe God your gift and your talent.
Yeah.
So come fix this pipe for me.
Yeah. Tell the light company that at the church. Tell the gas company.
There was no God, there would be no electricity. So the church should get it
for free. Yeah. And that's what we do. We have been led into that deceptive teaching that you're doing it for the Lord, you shouldn't get paid for it. Okay, but we have pastors' anniversaries.
Yeah.
Okay, we have
love offering.
Oh yeah.
I think the respect for the job of a musician is that's what it is. It's a disrespect for it. They don't really. Some people don't consider or realize that being a musician is a job. You know, like I said before. Is just as important and is just as viable as being a doctor.
Yes, sir.
As being a lawyer or any occupation. Because if you disagree with me, when you go into a professional building, for example, downtown, and you get when you walk in the lobby, what do you hear?
Yeah, you hear a lot of
music.
It too. Yeah.
When you get on the elevator,
you hear it.
When you go into a hospital room, or hospital, your clinic or a hospital, what do you hear? Music.
Go anywhere in public.
In surgeries, music in some cases is a vital part.
It is
for calming and keeping the spirit calm of the patient
and the
doctors
and
That's
the doctors.
Yes.
So music has a place. You know, my whole concept about music and the musicians that produce music is to set the tone for people emotionally and spiritually to receive whatever that message is. In a surgery room, your message is, you know, this doctor touching your body to make it better. It's relaxing you. It's putting you in a certain spirit. It's putting the doctor in a certain spirit. Now let's go to the church. Hypothetically, the message for today is God will.
Yeah.
Musicians and singers provide a setting emotionally and spiritually so that before the pastor gets up, it's like a Marine. All of this stuff has been broken down. It's already been conditioned so that the pastor can, or who, you know, whether it be a lady or a man, delivers the message so it can be received. And then doing the message, the music helps to push or whatever. If it's worship or like this real big praise situation, music plays a part in everyday life, whether people want to accept it or not. But who plays the music? It's musicians.
That's true.
Being a musician is a job.
Yeah, and some of them went to school, went to Berkeley, went to Full Sail, went to all these other places, and they got a degree. So should we not pay them? Now, let me ask you guys this question, though. How much today should a musician get paid, okay, for a service? He's doing a rehearsal on Wednesday, and he's doing a church service 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock on Sunday morning. All right? The membership is about 500 to 1,000 members. How much should that musician get paid if he is a keyboardist or an organist? Ballpark figure.
I think on the low ball, $500 a week.
Okay.
That's a start.
That's a start. Yeah, $500 a week.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's where I would start talking.
Sure. Now tell me why. And was it like that back in the 80s?
Well, in the 80s, I had no clue because I never
Wasn't
had the
doing
opportunity
it.
to get.
Okay.
No, I had never opportunity to even
Get to that
considered.
point. Oh, sure, I see.
But nowadays, I can recall listening to some of my predecessors, whereas $250 was the going rate,
That's
and that
true.
was good money.
That was.
With this economy and with what's cost of living in this region, I say $500 is fair for both the musician and the church. You're talking one rehearsal,
yes,
and one service. And we're not even talking about how many songs are required. We're just talking about being there and doing it, because a rehearsal can be hard work.
Yes, sir.
Because see, there's a rehearsal before the rehearsal.
Yes.
You have to learn the material.
Yeah, that's right.
Then in a rehearsal, if you're not just the organist, but you're teaching the choir, you're having 3 separate rehearsals within that rehearsal.
Yeah.
Or 4 if you have 4. It depends on how many sections in your choir, your praise team. So you're rehearsing all of the sopranos of all the songs that will be sang. That's one rehearsal. You're rehearsing all the altos of all the songs that will be sang. That's another rehearsal.
Yes, sir.
All the tenors and all the bass, if required, or baritones.
Right.
So 3 to 4 rehearsals within that rehearsal. In fact, depending upon what was coming up and how crucial it was, I would have them come in sections. Altos meet me at from 7 to 7:30. Altos rehearsal. So I'll have sectional rehearsals. That would make the time go faster. 7:30 to 8 o'clock, sopranos. 8 to 8:30, tenors. And then the men, or all the men, or low voices. And then from 8:30 to 9, combined rehearsal to review and find out what everybody worked with.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
That's a lot of work.
And
that's wear and tear on your voice, on your mind, on your fingers, on your back. You don't realize there's no back support on that organ bench or piano bench. You have to physically hold your stomach erect and your back erect. But you all don't see that.
No.
Because all y'all hear is the music is making you move, and sometimes we're moving with it too.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's fair. And then I have to come back and do it again on Sunday.
Absolutely. And
that doesn't include the choir songs. That includes devotional praise and worship, offertory songs, all the praise music, and Lord, if you all are Pentecostal and love to shout, that's 15 to 20 minutes of aerobic workout right there.
Yes, sir. In the key of E.
Oh no, I'm not doing either. I'm gonna well, I do whatever key is. Honest to God, that's the truth. I'm just playing when I say I'm not. Because a professional will play whatever key is required. But if I can push you,
yeah, and that is a lot of work.
And then if you're a long-winded preacher,
yes,
and you preach and you want that drive behind you, that push.
Yep.
And preachers themselves know how crucial it is because it makes their job easier when you have that musician has set the tone for him and then helps lift him, undergird him when he's preaching.
Yes.
Because that music helps drive that message across too.
Man, you went there. You just made your earnings, that $500 now.
I just explained it. I gave the itemized list because that's what I do. If I'm in an interview and you ask me what you going to get for it.
Right.
Well, I'm all into my controversy corner, but yeah.
But you're right. There are a lot of people who churches will say, "Man, that's too much money. You know how much." But look, this man over here. You know how hard he got to work to get $500 a week. Well, it's about negotiation, and it's about what that industry pays for that job. For instance, if you ask Bill Clinton to come speak at your church or your whatever you're doing, a dinner, you know how much you're gonna pay him.
You're going to pay him not just scale. He might get triple scale.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. But if you bring in a guy who's just a PhD, who he went to the same school Bill Clinton went to.
And maybe smarter.
All right? It's going to be cut down thousands of dollars from there. All right?
Because it's marketability.
That's my point. So it looks like a guy who's making $500 a week is only there Wednesday and Sunday. But the pay scale, because if you go to Google, you can look at the pay scale of all industries, and it's you like he don't do that much, but he get to pay. I think the greatest example is a guy who fixed a man's car one day. He took his car in because he couldn't figure out what was going on. He went from mechanic to mechanic, and the guy they couldn't help him. So he took this last mechanic, and he says, "Go wait in the waiting room," and then the mechanic called him back. About 15 minutes later, he says, "I fixed it." He said, "Wow, how'd you fix it?" He says, "Well, I'm good like that." He says, "How much?" He says, "It's going to be $1,000." $1,000? He said, "My God, man, what? You was only in there for 15 minutes." He said, "Well, I know." And he said, "I'm gonna be honest with you. The part only costs $100." He says, $100? He said, "Yeah, but it's going to cost you $900 because I knew where to find it. I went right to the source, and you're paying for my expertise to find it. Now, you done spent more than that going from this place, because they charging you what they call it when a guy come to your house to fix your place.
Estimate.
Yeah, well, estimate, service charges and all that stuff." He says,
labor.
He says, "But you paying me this money because I knew where to find it. Every time you come back, I know where to find it because that's what I do." And that's why some jobs pay more than others,
because it's a return on the investment of becoming an expert.
Huge return, absolutely. Yeah.
If I can interject, I'd like to approach it from a different, and I agree wholeheartedly with what you said, Alvin, and you, Walter. I think what's going on in my head is about the respect. People don't question doctors.
No, not at all.
People don't question lawyers.
You are right. That's good stuff.
Because they've prepped themselves with a resume.
Yeah.
They qualified themselves through some form of advertisement of what they can do. And I know we got a little time before we go off, but I want to touch upon this when we come back on. Musicians, you have to qualify yourselves.
Yes, sir.
Get a website and document work that you do, document the school that you go through, and show what you can do, because basically this whole thing is about respect of a musician.
That's good stuff. I'm glad he went there. This next hour, we're going to talk about email marketing. Those musicians are sitting at home wondering, how much can I make any more money other than church? Yes. I'm going to show you how. Email marketing. I'm going to show you how to make money on Facebook. I'm going to show you how to make money on social media, things that you're not doing, but you're wasting time playing Facebook games. You could be making money. Okay? Pennal Johnson's got an announcement he wants to make about distribution and some other things that are happening in his life. Man, we're about to go there. We're about to show y'all how to make some decent money. Spotify, iTunes, I'm going to tell you the ins and outs of that. You don't want to go nowhere. Okay? We'll be right back. Sir Walter Jones Show.
broadcasting all over the world at urbanbroadcastmedia.com, delivering love and inspiration 24/7. This is UBM Praise.
You get twirl, swirl, curly your curls with classy curls.
It's in a class by itself.
Long-lasting, stronger curls with classy curls.
It's in a class by itself.
Classy curls. Do it at home. Classy curls. The professional way. Classy curls. Gives you better curls. Swirlier, swirlier, curlier curls. Classy curl, curly perm.
It's in a class by itself.
From the Johnson Products Research Center.
Put a tic-tac in your mouth and get out of life.
It's a clean, fresh explosion of mint.
Put a tic-tac in your mouth and get out of life. It's a clean, fresh explosion of mint. Put a tic-tac in your mouth and get out of life. It's a clean, fresh explosion of mint.
From this place I started, a lot of ground's been covered, and yet remain so many heights unknown. But now I face a forward in the road. So Lord, you lead me. Where do I go from here? Make my pathway clear, for I need your direction to make the right selection. Lead me and I'll follow where you lead. Life with its surprises, try to organize them and make them work out best for me. But now I'm just as lost as I could be. So Lord, you lead me. Where do I go from here? Make my pathway clear, for I need your direction to make the right selection. Lead me and I'll follow where you lead. Oh, 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 the future's oh so scary. So Lord, please prepare me. Enable me to face the great unknown. So now the choice is yours and not my own. Now, Lord, you lead me. Where do I go from here? Make my pathway clear, for I need your direction to make the right selection. Lead me and I follow wherever you lead. Just lead me. Where can I go from here? Make my pathway clear, for I need your direction. Make the right selection. Lead me and I follow wherever you lead. Lord, lead me. I need to know. I need your direction to make the right selection. Lead me and I'll follow where you
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
presentation.
Hey, you, singers, musicians, writers, and producers. Feel like your career is on a treadmill? Tune in to the Sir Walter Jones Show, and we have tips or the solution for you.
Wednesday.
The Winans, I'll Follow Where You Lead, 1985, I believe. Them brothers, we got to do the Winans tribute as well, y'all. We've been on a tribute a tribute tour lately. Yeah, this is good stuff. Hey, Eric Jules, he says, man, it has been a minute. He was talking about this song from the Full and Complete Love Alive 4. Eric Jules, if you go to Spreaker.com, if somebody could tag him that show, I don't know who's listening, who got the ability to do that, but go to, don't tag just Spreaker.com, tag that particular show that we did a tribute to Walter Hawkins. Put that on the wall, y'all, if you can. I'm having a problem doing it. And then you can hear it. You're gonna think that one was something. Whew, we did 2 hours of all his stuff. Our guest here was saying something very interesting, but what I want to do is I want to find out from the guest, man, what's going on with you lately, man? You telling us you got some news. What is this news that you want to talk about?
Well, it's 2-part.
Now, before you go to the 2-part, I got to get you to do a drop. Because if you don't do a drop now, I'm going to forget. And Dion's such a perfectionist. He get caught up in his work. Yeah. So we got here's your drop. You say, bam, right. Hello, everybody. This is whatever your name is.
You do remember that, right?
Right. Because, you may have a stage name. It may not be Pennal Johnson. It might be Parnell
PJ.
It's just PJ from PJ Funk or whatever. This is the Sir Walter Jones Show. Okay? Pretty much. That's it. All right, you ready, D?
Yep.
Here we go.
We rolling.
Hey, everybody. This is PJ from PJ and Soul. Welcome to the Walter Jones Show.
Nope. It's Sir Walter Jones.
Got you.
Because they're going to look for the Walter Jones Show. They ain't going to find it. Okay, yeah. Go.
Hello, everybody. This is PJ from PJ and Soul. Welcome to the Sir Jones.
These going in our blooper reel. You know
right?
That, right? Okay.
Oh, wait till he put that together.
Oh, yeah.
He got one on me.
All right, here we go. Take 3.
Hello, everybody. This is PJ from PJ and Soul. Welcome to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Bam!
Bing! Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, good stuff. Yes, that's good stuff. What's the other one?
You're listening to.
Now you say all what you just said, but you said this instead. You'll say you're listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show. Okay. So one is the show is just coming on.
No, that was it right there.
That was it. Yeah.
You logged on. You logged on.
Yeah. Now you're listening. Yeah.
Okay, log on to.
Yeah.
Just say to log on to the.
Hey, this is PJ for PJ and Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Log on to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Hey, everybody. This is PJ from PJ and Soul. Log on to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Bam! There it is. Yeah. What key? E flat, A flat. What was funk and something flat? What was it called?
Oh no, that was Nasty Funk.
That's Nasty Funk. But the other one was
Groove and
he was in one key. And
yeah.
He named it one key, but he was in another key.
Yeah, he was
you remember
in
that,
G.
PJ? Huh?
Yeah, he was in G, but he said Groove and F.
Groove and F.
Yeah, he was in C.
Yeah.
Sound check F.
Sound check F. Yeah, sound check F. Yeah.
Sound check F in
C.
B minor.
Q.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go there eventually. Okay, yeah. Sorry for the interruption. We do this on the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Just have fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. We
it's
do
called
this.
Maximizing time.
Yeah, maximizing
Yes,
time.
sir.
D, don't forget
Season
the other
moment.
drop that we never pulled off.
I got it.
Yeah, my man.
That was
last week. That was last week. On the 8th, I think it was. Okay, what you got there, Johnson?
Yeah, it's 2 parts. God is blessed. I'm signed as an artist with Hitman Records, based out of Los Angeles.
Hitman. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. The brother got a deal.
Yes. Dope.
Yeah.
Johnson.
And the other part to it is that I was offered a situation where I can have access to worldwide distribution by helping others.
Wow.
By developing my own label.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I love it. I love it. Y'all heard it right here first. We just broke the news. We just broke that news. That is amazing, man. You know, people who've been trying to get that, they're trying to get it overnight. But you did the work, though, man. Somebody noticed you out there working. And when I see you on stage, man, it ain't the other folk pouring all this money in you. You going in your pocket, man, and investing in yourself. And that's when the labels recognize. Is when you already out there doing stuff. Gone are the days where you sitting around doing nothing and the label says, you know, I'm interested in you.
Now they don't see what do you bring to the table.
Yes, sir.
And not just the table.
Yeah.
You got your own table. So now we want to come sit at yours.
Sit at your table. That's it. And they sitting there and say, well, you know, here's a deal. Here's a 360 deal. Here's this deal, you know. But man, that's exciting, man. So what's the next step?
Well, the next step is now by the CEO of Hitman Records. He's going to groom me in the business part of developing a LLC.
Absolutely.
And
limited liability company, y'all.
Yes.
And we're gonna through God, God's gonna give me a name for this.
Good.
And at first I didn't want to do it. He said I have the option of just using it for myself.
Sure.
But I have the option of helping other people because he liked when I kind of organized things to go out to LA,
sure,
where they saw me perform. And he said he just felt led to do this. And, you know, when I presented this contract to my entertainment lawyer, he researched it and did his thing. And he called me back, emailed me back and said, you better sign this before they change their mind.
Now, you notice, guys, he said an entertainment lawyer.
Yes.
He didn't get a trial lawyer.
No.
That's right.
Okay, he didn't get a building management lawyer.
No.
Okay.
Legal aid lawyer.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Yeah, he didn't get a divorce lawyer.
Right.
Okay, he got an entertainment lawyer. Now, why did you find an entertainment lawyer?
Well, I used to tour with a band called Lubriphonic.
Sure.
And the lawyer that handled all that band's business.
Yes.
I mean, we toured for like 3 years, over 200 days a year. And with 2 albums on the table, he negotiated all of that stuff.
See.
And, you know, through relationship and through networking.
Yes, sir.
I was able to call upon him. And he, you know, did the work for me. And, and it was a blessing.
Yes.
And, you know, before I signed, it's just like when you're negotiating.
Yes, sir.
The whole art of negotiating is like you have to know good counsel.
Yes, sir.
And not be so in a hurry because of your excitement to do stuff without researching and making sure that terms are where you can understand them and you know the meaning of them.
And people always say, a lot of them just say, I can do this by myself. I got this, man. I got this. Let me tell you something. It'd be best that you pay some money to get somebody who can get it done right away.
To make sure you don't get cheated out of something.
You see what I'm saying?
In chess, they say fools rush in.
Yeah, where wise men fear to tread. I think that's the rest of it. And you're right. When someone comes to me and says I want to do an album, okay, I can produce the album. I can be the musician. I can be the background vocals. I can even engineer that album all by myself. I can. Trust me. After them 10 songs, it's all gonna sound like Sir Walter.
Yes.
All right. And people gonna be like, really? That third song sound like the fifth song. Okay?
Right.
All right. And then it's gonna take me a long time to do all that. Why not me pay Alvin to be this, maybe write some of the songs, okay? Dion could be my engineer. Johnson could be my bassist, all right? Now I'm producing all this stuff, okay? I even probably bring in a co-producer because there's some levels. He might be better in vocal arrangement than me. You see what I'm saying?
Or music
there you go. So you designate all that stuff. People, now the project, it'll only take 30 days for that project to be done, opposed to me doing it all by myself in 6 months, okay?
Right.
And we may say, the guy may say, well, I'm saving money. Yeah, but time is money.
Time is very, it's very valuable.
That's 5 months earlier. You could have had it in the industry. Okay,
or 5 months longer, it could be out there.
There you go. That's good. So he chose a entertainment lawyer because a lot of you don't understand. The entertainment lawyer already have a relationship with many of the labels, many of the stores. They can walk into Walgreens and go right up to the office. Okay, the CEO's office. You got to have an appointment. He gonna turn you down 5 times before you can.
He
get
understands the legalese of that particular branch of the legal business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
exactly. Legalese that we don't have a clue.
We don't have a clue. We just don't. So it is about who you know,
as well as
exactly. And that's some great news. And then you said something about you're gonna have the opportunity to help others.
Yes. I might get a lot of flack for this.
Not on this show.
We the flack family.
We the flack family. Flick and flack.
Flack and flick, flick and flack.
I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
In a secular world, telling people about Christ.
Yeah.
In my shows, but
sound like John the Baptist.
Pretty much.
And what I see sometimes is artists instead of servants.
Oh, okay.
Servants serve the needs of the people of God. And I'm interested in that. And I want to be a part of, at least from a music standpoint, of spreading the gospel across the world. And God has given me this platform to have access to global distribution from major companies. If you go to www.hitmanrecords.com, you'll see all of that stuff there. And, God has blessed. My CD is being repackaged.
Good.
And it will have a street release in 3 months. That's the processing time.
Absolutely.
But to go back to this other part is that there's a lot of artists and servants out here that have a heart for God and have a heart for the people of God, but they don't have like an avenue to go down so that they can get their stuff out. And I'm rooting for I'm the person that loves the underdog.
Sure.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
We live in a society sometimes where only the popular seems to be the ones that can do everything, and that's just not true.
Right.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of people that have great talent, that love God, and have something to say. And I want to be that vehicle for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's happening here. That is exactly what's happening here. And I'm loving this, man. My brother Larry Jones has walked in, and we got a power pack, just a power pack day. Still got more time. We're going to lose Pennal Johnson at 5:30. He's got commitments at Wednesday night. I thought my brother had, and apparently he must have changed some things around. So he's here, and I'm good. I'm glad. We want to continue to force this topic into the people's heads, because people are trying to figure out why. I'm a musician. I play at my church. I might get $200 a week. Okay, and I need an extra gig. Okay, there are some things that you guys you're sitting in front of gold mines and you're not taking advantage of it. Many of you on social media, you're not using it to make money for some weird, strange reason. You got an email account and you're not using it at all, which for some strange reason. Yes, sir.
Can I say something to the musicians real quick? Musicians that are listening, I know you want to make some money. I know you want to be seen. I know you want to do this and you want to do that. But if you can develop something about the love for what you do, and not only just to love what you do, far as whatever instrument you love to play, but love the people that you're playing it for, that you're playing this instrument for.
Right.
If you develop that first, all the other stuff will come.
It'll come. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want to say.
But that's good, and that's biblical. You seek ye first the kingdom of God.
Yes.
And his righteousness.
And all.
Everything else will just come to you. And it's not too many people out there who actually have 9 to 5 that they love.
That's right.
Yeah. They're tired. They want to do something else. Okay. So it's not too many people. So you, myself, or my brother Larry, we're doing things that we enjoy doing, and we just happen to get paid for something that we love, and that's a wonderful feeling. It really is. It's not even a job in a sense. It's just we just doing it because we love God and we love the people that we're doing it for. Larry, how you doing, man?
This is Larry Jones, a.k.a. Uncle Larry. And when I'm in Chicago, I listen to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Do that,
was
man.
perfect. You just messed it up.
I know what's coming.
That was perfect.
I know what's coming. All right, I'm going to shut up.
Oh, wow.
All right, do it again.
Yo, that was perfect.
This is Larry Jones, a.k.a. Uncle Larry. And when I'm on the internet and I'm browsing, I listen to the Sir Walter Jones Show. UBM Praise. What's up?
Bam!
Boom, shakalaka.
Can I get my check now?
you check out of here. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Man, D, you got some work to do, bro. He gonna be some extracting food right there, boy. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Busy man, you're busy man.
Yeah,
Every time we turn around. Now, I was getting ready to talk about social media, okay?
Okay.
And you're doing something very clever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what you're doing. And again, those of you listening who says, I don't know what else to do, I play for churches, and then Monday through Saturday, I don't know what else to do. Okay, social media, YouTube, Facebook, all right? And there's several others.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you do a session, whether you're doing your one mic session,
yes,
or whether you're doing a concert,
mm-hmm,
okay, you just had your birthday concert.
right,
All right. If you had placed your entire concert on Facebook, which probably lasted in video edits an hour and maybe a half, maybe, okay?
Yep.
The people may not have looked at it because it was too long for it to happen. So what you have been doing is giving them snippets and highlights
of each
performance, and each one gets special attention.
Yes.
Tell me why you're doing that.
Because I was listening to the show on the way in. Mm-hmm. You have to reinvent things sometimes,
mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to study media. No one's going to click while they're at work. Most media is viewed while they're at work.
Yeah.
No one's going to click on something that's an hour and a half.
Right.
You're just not going to do it.
Right.
And so you have to, number one, if you serve it in pieces, the meal will last longer.
Yes, sir.
It's just like a preacher up for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
He's overstayed his welcome. So I presented in that
mm-hmm,
way. There's another reason why I cut it up, because I want that artist to be featured at that time.
Yes, sir.
And that artist only.
That's good. And then you still have an opportunity for packaging, because then the people who want to see everything, you're turning into a DVD.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the packaging part.
For the small sum of $19.99.
Yes, sir. That's it. Come on. That's it, man. That's it.
But and that it is what it is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because I was listening to Will Smith, and I agree with him. We always are reactors instead of acting.
Right.
I was listening to your deal. Do something unique with your deal,
right,
Pennal. Because we're a society where we react instead of acting. We should be the cosmic boom. We should start something new, right? There's a young man, Josiah Maddox. He played the drums, right?
Wow.
Yes. Now
that boy bad.
And that boy's bad. And I wanted to introduce him to a new audience,
mm-hmm,
and I said it that night. He's record ready for the top.
Yeah.
And I looked at his video as I posted it. It's been shared over 210 times on Facebook alone.
Yeah.
And by Monday, it had been viewed on Facebook, not YouTube,
mm-hmm,
just Facebook alone.
mm-hmm,
It had been viewed over 10,000 times.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's using, social media,
yes, sir,
to provide a platform.
Yes. Yes.
And I know you're going to come back. I guess you're coming back, or are we in now? To talk about social
keep going.
Media. Okay. There's some key things. I've been studying social media and acting in social media for a while. There's a young man that called me about he's a drummer, and he was saying that he was stagnated. And I told him this, one of the things that I did just this week, I pretty much booted off 100 people because I'm maxed out. And I booted 50 people that wasn't important to me, a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
that type of deal.
Love it.
And I've probably added just 40 drummers in the last week, all from Josiah Maddox's video. They're all, you know, they're requesting Facebook friends. But what I've did with my Facebook is I have it segmented. I have drummers, keyboardists,
That's good.
bass players.
Yeah.
I have media. I have TV media. These are all Facebook friends. And I have radio media. I have everything segmented. So if I post a video, I can immediately tag just drummers.
Yeah.
I can immediately tag just bass players.
Yes.
And so that's why, you know, I get the response that I do, but I'm not posting everything every day. Hey, I'm going for a walk. So what? Go walk.
So what?
You know, I'm back from shopping. Yeah, did you bring me some cornflakes? You know, I don't want to hear about all of that. But we have to get smart. We have to be smart with our media. And we have to think of things as a business, just like you said. There's a lot of ways to create. So now if you have a product, people have an ear to hear what your product is because people are looking at the way you conduct business.
I love it.
Right? And another thing he said that is, I feel like I'm stagnated right now. What I told him is, if you're stagnated as a musician, take this time to do two things. Number one, pour into somebody else.
Right.
Says, I'm telling you this might sound corny. Pour your gift into somebody else. Get with another musician who's doing something or who's hot right now and simply offer your services to him.
Yeah.
And you will be surprised at how it keeps you relevant.
Yeah.
And it keeps you in the game, so to speak. Number one. Number two, take this time to study, not practice. That's different. Going over what you already know.
Right.
Take this time to study.
Yeah.
And actually see this as a gift. So you are off. You're not on. You're off. So you're in your closet and you're practicing some of the time, but you're studying.
Right.
And so when it's your turn to resurface again, you come with something fresh and something new and something marketable and something relevant because that's what people are looking for.
Yeah.
And so I did the same thing. I keep bringing this up, the Mega Drum Shed. I created this thing called the Mega Drum Shed. Now, is it the first drum shed? No, there's drum sheds all over. But it hit over 600,000 views because of the way it was packaged.
Yes. That's it.
And so that's what we have to look at. We have to present our media as a company. We have to think kingdom minded. We have to think big. We can't think little. You can't present it chitlin circuit.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So keep doing what you're doing, man. I like the way you present it, and that's the way I wanted to do with my birthday thing.
Sure.
I wanted it to be about my artists.
Right.
I wanted it to be about my friends.
Yeah.
And as you were there, I mean, and thank God for my church with the lights and the sound.
Oh yeah.
You Live in Hope Church, man.
Sure.
It was just an amazing event, and it was as if you were at the Stellar Awards or the Grammys.
Yes.
And that's the way we need to continue to present.
That's good stuff. I'm loving it. And again, we're going to talk more about it. I know we're going to lose Pennal Johnson. Man, thank you. Where can we find you? Where can we find you online? We can find you on Facebook. I know that already.
Yes!
Actually, if you go to Reverb Nation and look at Pennal,
right.
PJ Johnson.
Yeah.
It's PENNALPJJOHNSON.
Yeah, Pennal Johnson. And if you just Google it, and you'll see Reverb Nation, and you'll see Facebook and the other places. Trust me. So if you don't remember any of that, just Google his name, and you'll see. You'll see some YouTube videos of him as well. Some of them I took, some of them Larry took. Okay, yes. We're gonna answer this question after Controversial Corner. Do artists and bands get money? This person asked on this blog, can the money I spend on iTunes, where did my money come from? He says, I've always enjoyed feeling holier than thou about the fact that I purchased nearly all of my music because I'm supporting the band. Is this in fact what is happening? Do bands receive 99 cents every time I buy a song? How does iTunes work exactly?
I'll tell you exactly what that is.
Well, we got some bad news for you. We got some good news.
And some good news.
We got some good news.
About iTunes.
And we got some bad news. iTunes and Spotify, we're going to try to feature that this last half hour. Okay, Pennal Johnson, thank you so much, man.
Thank you guys, man. Love you guys.
You the man. Hey, we're going to play Spot Check F. Spot Check?
Sound check. Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking about Spotify. We're going to play Sound Check and Spot It on the F, even though it's in another key. Okay. Pennal Johnson on the bass. We'll be right back. Sir Walter Jones Show.
Log on to urbanbroadcastmedia.com and check out the many services Urban Broadcast Media provides. Whether it's social media, video production, radio broadcasting, or audio recording, we got you covered.
With the Cordoba, we went back to the drawing boards. We wanted to get the gas mileage up, but not at the expense of the styling.
Introducing the totally redesigned Chrysler Cordoba.
All the luxury you expect is here. But so is gas mileage. You can have high style and good mileage. The new Cordova proves it. I like what they've done to my car.
Bobby, you don't want your job, do you?
I want my job, Mr. Jones.
Bobby,
I really do.
Bobby, you don't act like it, Bobby. Look, each week a new emergency. You've had every disease known to man, and I haven't seen one doctor's note.
I just lose them sometimes.
Bobby, this ain't the poot butt league, man. Ain't no poot butts around here. This is not your average hot dog stand. You know what this is? This is Winky Dinky Dog.
I know, and I'm glad to be working here at Winky Dinky Dog.
Yeah, it sends chills down my spine every time I say it. Winky Dinky Dog. Bobby, say it with me, come on.
Winky Dinky Dog.
Winky Dinky Dog. Yeah, ooh. Yeah, I like that.
Mr. Jones, it's not that I'm not happy working here. It's just that acting allows me to be creative.
Bobby, you can create here. I created the Winky Dinky Dog. 100% beef. Winky Dinky hamburger. Winky Dinky donut. Winky Dinky dip. And I got a new one, Bobby. The Winky Dinky whole cake.
Whole cake.
Whole cake. Hoes got to eat too, right?
Right.
Yes! That's right. Hoes got to eat. I hate to lose you, Bobby. There's a big thing coming up. Go and talk to him, man. Winky Dinky whole cake.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Hey, you, singers, musicians, writers, and producers. Feel like your career is on a treadmill? Tune in to the Sir Walter Jones Show, and we have tips or the solution for you.
At this time, I have the honor to present to you the moral leader of our nation, a great dedicated man, a philosopher of a non-violent system of behavior.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Politics, doctrine, current events. Let's meet at the Controversy Corner on the Sir Walter Jones Show here on UBM Praise.
Hello, everybody. This is Keep It Real Carter here at the intersection of controversy and compensation. That's right. These churches better have my money. The Bible says pay us. Remember the Levites? We talked about that earlier. That's right. Pay us. Give us our money. The Bible says a workman is worthy of his hire. Give us our money. The question is when and how you gonna pay determines when and how I play. Give us our money. Now, players, let me tell you something. You got a job to do too. I'm gonna tell you this first tip in the game. Know them that labor among you. That's Bible. When you go on an interview for a gig, be prepared to give your own interview back. On the interview, you got to ask some questions. Have your own ready. Not only is it a good tool for you, but it's also impressive. Here's one of the questions you're supposed to ask. How long is your service? And do I get overtime? Yeah, that makes sense. If you've been paid to slot a certain amount of time, if it goes over, can you get compensated for that time? Because they'll dock you if you're late. It's just something to think about. Next question. Are extra services extra money? They get an extra offering. It's just something to think about. Remember we told you, you don't get what you deserve, you're getting what you negotiate. Write this down, y'all. I'm trying to teach you how to play the game when you're playing the money, playing the music. I'm sorry, I messed up. Here's another question. How good is the choir or the praise team? Because that's going to determine how hard you got to work to make sure that you give a good presentation of the product you say you can give them. Now, if they know Ken's song, that means you're going to have to play extra hard or do some extra hard training. It may also mean they may not be able to do what they said they can do too. Or It's an opportunity for you to hone your skills and develop and expand. Because if you help them get better, they'll appreciate you while you're helping yourself get better too. Then, here's the most crucial question. Hear me good. Ask that preacher, what does he preach? What? Yes, because you got to sit under that teaching while you in there. And if it's not wholesome instruction, you putting your soul in question. What does he preach? What doctrine does he stand for? Because if it don't sit right in your spirit, you ain't going to be able to do the best that God has given you to do anyway, because you're going to be in an internal battle. Again, it's back to knowing them that labor among you. You may not have no business sitting there in the first place. What are the moral standards of the church? Now, you know if you've been delivered from being a hoe, don't go to a church full of hoes. Because otherwise you're going to go back into the game. I'm just keeping it real. That's my name. What are the standards?
Ho, ho, ho.
Add one more. There you go. Now, what are the standards of the church? Do they require excellence, or is that a do enough? You need to know these things before you get there. Now, what climate does the church have? Are they regal and laid back? Or are they very excited and exuberant? What's the dress code? All of these things are important. And here's another one. How frequent or how often is payment rendered? What do you mean? Everybody don't pay every Sunday. Some churches pay every 2 weeks, like clockwork. But here's my position on that. No free fifth Sundays. No free fifth Sundays. Because every 2 weeks, that means it's every 2 weeks. That fifth Sunday is a gift. You be careful. Better know how to negotiate. And here's another one I'm going to ask you to ask them. Does the style or genre of music correlates, or is it compatible to your style of playing? If they like classical and traditional gospel and all you know is contemporary, don't even go in there trying to take the job. Or if you can play that music but don't prefer that music, you're wasting your time because you're going to be unfulfilled and bored. And the last thing you need to have in your reputation is that you don't have any stability. And you always gone and moving. You stay here 2 weeks, 3 months, a year, and then you're moving on. Develop some roots. Dig down deep. And my last question I always ask is, Reb, how hard am I going to sweat? What you mean? If the church got air conditioning, because it be hot on that organ. That wood get to stick into my suit and my clothes, and I leave a never mind, I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all understand what I'm saying? They play organ. But finally and sincerely, I say this to you. Your gift and talent is just as insignificant as any other. And if you don't appreciate it, no one else will. That's my controversial corner.
Stop trying to get rich off a simple job. Had a guy, and mind you, I'm a musician. I can make tracks. I do tracks. I heard a guy's track. I said, hey, man, I want to buy your track. He's like, okay, cool. You can buy the track. He said, it'll be this much. I said, okay. So I sent it to my wife. She said, I like the track. She said, but just one thing. Can you change the key? Okay, I'm going to change the key. Hey, we need to change the key. Oh, I charge for changing the key. We need the tracks bounced. I charge for changing the key. I charge for bouncing the tracks. I charge for normalizing. And next thing you know, it was like, all right, man, I'm good. I think we're going to go a different way. I did the track and we did our own stuff. Now, the thing is, I didn't really need him to do the track. I got some nice guys that would do some tracks for me. I was trying to put money in his pocket because I knew he was struggling. But sometimes these young musicians at this time, oh man, I need the money. I got rent due, so I'm trying to make a meal. I'm trying to make my bread off of one dude. Like every opportunity you get, you trying to make all your money off that one guy. When you got to build up to that. There's guys that have platinum records, that have Grammys, that have gold records. I called them up, and this happened to me on my Neo Sold Out. Hey, I need a track on blah, blah, blah. Hey, Jamal, these are guys that don't even know me, but they know my work from gospel musicians. Hey, whatever you need. Really? Yeah, man, I seen your work. I like what you do. Whatever you need. Hey, I know we haven't talked in a while. I was wondering what my boys back in Cleveland. Hey, whatever you need. The guys that are making the guys that are up there, they are saying, Jamal, whatever you need. It's these little young musicians that's like trying to charge like they got Grammys. Like you got to build your way up. So the Bible says here a little, there a little, line upon line, precept upon precept. You will get there, but you're not there yet. All right?
You will get there, but you're not there yet. Stop charging for every jot and tittle. It used to be a time you did it because you enjoyed it. Now you got to charge for every and everything. These young kids, they playing and making all this money in churches, and they can't play a simple hymn.
Oh, my God.
And the pastors are paying them big money. And it's unfortunate. And then they'll call me. Now, this has been embarrassing moments where I was at my musical at my church in Evanston. I'm in the bathroom, and the band just got through playing for the youth choir. Them youth choirs, they can dance and bang and what have you. It was one of those Kirk Franklin type songs. Okay, man, it was jamming,
romping and stomping.
Oh yeah. So they got through, and the MC came back and started singing "The Wicked Shall Cease from Troubling." Okay, you know what happened, right?
He sang a cappella.
Yeah, he had sing a cappella. I'm in the bathroom. I said, "Oh man," I washed my hand to your mind, and I leaped through troops.
He said, "Oh crap!"
I did. I leaped through troops. I jumped over the hills, got on my horse, got to the piano by the second verse, and I had to play. I'm like, really? This is ridiculous. And it was, a slew full of musicians up there, and none of them knew it. But these cats are going back to their churches making $500-$600 a week, man. And so there's a culture change that happened because a lot of our churches are not playing the old school music and no hymns or what have you, and that's all they need the musician for the up-tempo, not so much up-tempo, but the new songs, praise and worship songs.
As my mommy said, that temporary music.
Yeah, the temporary. Yeah. So it's become a problem.
It's a huge problem.
But Larry, real quick, let's do this real quick. The iTunes situation. Let's answer this, okay? Is a man putting his music on 99 cents? Should he rely on iTunes kickbacks solely by just that, and he could sit back and collect all his good money and retire off of the 99 cents?
Unless you're a multi-platinum selling artist, people have to understand iTunes is not to make money on.
Right.
It's really not. You're making some money, but it's not to make money.
Yeah.
iTunes to me, iTunes is distribution.
Sure.
It's not just to me, that's what it is.
That's
it's
what
distribution.
It is. Right.
So if you have a fan on, let's say, Facebook or YouTube, that's in China or whatever, you're in Chicago or they're in Louisiana, they want your product, iTunes. Boom.
Yeah.
They pay 99 cents. iTunes keeps 30%, which is 30 cents, and you get about 70 cents of that 99 cents as the artist.
69 cents.
And 69 cents.
69 cents
yeah,
to be exact.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's if you're not signed.
I'm talking percentage.
Sure. And that's if you're
a cheapskate.
Right.
And that's if you're
not
signed, because the label's going to get another percentage.
Exactly.
And then someone else may get this, depending on your, whatever, and then you get what's left.
Exactly.
And it takes major artists,
absolutely,
a lot of times to make an okay kickback on.
But
online.
even the major artists, and I'd worked with a venue, and we brought in a lot of major artists. Even the major artists, what do? They tour. They don't rely on that.
Right.
They tour. That's where you make your money, in touring. So just for somebody to say, "Hey, I got something on iTunes," and I'm going, "And
yeah, what else you got? And what other several things that you have?"
Some major artists you can't find on iTunes because it's not worth their time.
Well, yeah, that's true. Some are not on iTunes, and some have pulled back even from Spotify. They pulled it out. Now you've got.
You make 10 times off iTunes you make off of Spotify. Spotify is really.
They're making some changes, and I'm talking about this next week. But a lot of the artists pulled their music off Spotify, and then they joined forces with Beyonce's husband. What's his name? With the new product he got. What's it called? I forgot the name of it. Yeah. But here are now. I'm glad you brought this up, Larry, because here are the 9 ways musicians actually make money today. I'm talking about these top musicians. Number one, fashion lines, clothes. Okay, potential payback is $15 million.
You got to be a mogul.
You got to be a mogul. Okay, perfume. Okay,
mogul.
Yeah, millions. Startup investment, investing. That is saying. Let's see. You got Kickstarter, which is the
crowdfunding
funding. Okay, websites. That's huge. A lot of well-known artists. Go to Kickstarter. Believe it or not. They can make up. They said the payback could be $1.2 million. YouTube is another one here. Absolutely, and they get kickback on, and you've proven this to be effective on advertising.
Just looking at my statement yesterday.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
And then and this not this last one, but the next one is instant concert recordings.
Yeah.
Okay, concerts and touring.
That's where the money is.
$5,000 per show. They're saying here. And then
that's for a newcomer.
Of course. And then this last one here, which is not that easy, talk show band.
Yeah.
Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. You got the Roots.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was at an event. I'm not gonna call any names. I was at an event, and for a personal, and it was a throwback group, but for them to do a performance one night, $200K is what they got paid.
Ain't that something?
Wow. Yeah. I'll tell you guys who it was all fair.
Yeah. I was going to do a segment on how 10 musicians make good living in today's music industry. I'm going to have to wait till next week to bring that out. But these are some wonderful stats. Well, I'm going to talk about one guy named Ron Pope, who they asked him the questions, where do you reside? He says, I live in New York. They said, how old are you? I'm 30. How long has music been your primary source of income? He says, about 6 years. Well, about how much money did you make from music last year or your best year the past 5 years? He said $100,000 plus. And they asked him, well, what are the top 5 income sources you make your music from? And here's his list. He says from most to least, my top 5 is number 1, iTunes. Number 2, Spotify. Number 3, Sound Exchange royalties. Number 3, show income. The whole touring.
Right.
And then he says the last one is syncs. He's sync income. Okay. So it wasn't just. Notice it wasn't just the one. It was several.
You got to diversify.
I was about to say, it seems like multiple streams of income is the only way you can actually succeed in life. Period.
Yeah, in anything that you do. Now, right quick, I want to mention the things that I said I was going to do. The email marketing, I'm going to have to do another show on that because that's vital. Because if you don't have a mail list, then you don't have nothing. But the Facebook marketing, it says Facebook launched in 2004 and quickly grew into the powerhouse that we know as today. While many see it as for its flaws, the mere size of the network,
thank you,
over a billion users, makes it a social source that can't be overlooked. In this chapter, we'll look closer at how to use Facebook not only for promotion but increasing your fan base as well. And this is from a book that I have called Social Media Promotions for Musicians.
Well, just to interject there, when you're watching Shark Tank and they said we did 1.5 million and they said soft launch, Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. That's good stuff. Good stuff. It says here's an interesting set of statistics from Facebook itself. A couple of figures jump out, like the 2 billion likes per day, and the fact that the network has zero penetration into China. Now, you don't listen to this. It has zero penetration in China, and only 60% into India and the U.S. Presumably, that still leaves some room for growth. So here are the facts.
In the billions.
Right.
China alone.
Come on. It's the second most popular visited site on the internet after Google. Second. 50% of active users log in any given day. About 70% of Facebook users are outside of the United States. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
70% are not even here. All right? An average user spends 700 minutes per month on Facebook. More than 30 billion pieces of content are shared on Facebook each month. Each day, Facebook pages have created 5.3 billion fans. Each day, 55 million status updates are made on Facebook. More than 150 million active users currently access Facebook throughout their mobile device. Mobile. And some people, that's all they use it for is mobile. Okay? The numbers don't lie. And any one of the above points is enough to make the case for Facebook. Put them all together, and it means that being part of it is almost mandatory when it comes to social.
It is.
I can't imagine social media without it now.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's where it started. Absolutely. And there are certain times, and we got to do another show on it. There are certain times where you post on Facebook where you get most of the people looking.
Midweek, midday.
Midweek, midday. And watch this, Larry. Mm-hmm. Here's a surprising statistic that I found.
It might be surprising to you.
Okay? It's surprising. Most people shop on the weekend, like Saturday, what have you. Mm-hmm. Do you know most of my responses on Facebook is midweek, and Saturday and Sunday?
Yes,
absolutely.
And that's absolutely.
That Saturday and Sunday,
right?
Okay?
You know why? Because of your friends. What are they doing Sunday morning? They're in church.
That's it.
When they come home from church, they've had you've eaten. You come home. First thing you do is flip that Facebook out.
That's it.
Oh, when the preacher preaching, they over their phone.
Oh yeah. You can post it anytime on Sunday, and somebody's gonna respond, even though they're in church.
But Sunday after church is your
no. I'm not.
Everybody's gonna. Everybody's going.
I have
Facebook.
a question for you. When you said earlier how you began to slot and categorize your friends list, how do you do that on your phone? Since most people use their mobile device versus the computer,
right? Well, that's you're the administrator, so that's something you don't want to do on your phone. That's something you want to go home, sit down at your computer, because it takes time to do that.
Okay,
right? So every time you take in 5 Facebook friends and you're out at work, take a minute, write their names down, say, hey, this guy is a drummer. And just write it down when you go home, and then you do it on your computer.
Great tips.
Absolutely,
I really thought that was a profound piece of advice.
It is amazing.
For marketing.
Powerful.
I mean, because everybody's not as organized, but it's so easy to slot them that way and tag them and group them that way.
Yeah.
Your email is the same way. We have email before
folders.
Facebook. There was we have groups and folders.
I thought about that even yesterday. I go, wow, I haven't checked I used to be on my email all the time and all the jokes and all the comments and information.
Yep.
And now I'm going, man, I'm behind. I
got
tons of mail that I haven't read yet.
Yeah. Yes. And this is good stuff. He brought a good point again, guys. I might have to do this another time, another show. But there were a lot of people in your Facebook list you probably need to get rid of.
Yeah, I love that point too. I meant to
dump them, because if you don't dump them, you're going to find yourself.
They're
taking up space, all right, and they're not
productive, so they're destructive.
And you look at it, you'll do the they call it where you can go in and find out when they became your friend.
Yeah.
Okay, and if it may say 2009. But you haven't seen nothing from them.
Exactly.
Last thing you saw from them was 2 years ago.
Exactly.
Okay, those are the people.
They're not active.
You dump them because
they might be dead.
Yeah, they might be. They really are. I realized I had about 10 dead people on my thing, and I had to get rid of it. Now, reason why I had to get rid of it because
if it's Kwan Jong-soon from Africa and there's no picture, get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Yeah. So the reason why you got so many dead beats because when we all signed up for Facebook, we were excited. Yes. And we started adding people because we wanted that, all right?
Yes.
After 5 years, they became dead weight. You never heard from them. And then you reach 4,999. You ain't got but one you get let in.
Right.
And I went there and did a purge of 200-300 people.
Yeah.
Purged them, get them out of there, and I added.
And then you're going to find out how many people that's been on your waiting list.
Yes, sir. Wow.
That's where I got my mind
Play that outro. I got to get out of here. This is getting good.
I had TV media people that was on my waiting list that I never accepted.
Yes.
That literally is on the Channel 7 News.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got Boo Boo and all of them. I'm like, what am I? Yeah.
Are you good for me?
No.
Yeah.
What can you do for me?
Yeah. Kill a dead weight. Whatever, whatever you got. I got to go, y'all. Thank you, Larry Jones.
Yes, sir.
Mayor Like Music. Go ahead, check him out. He's on Facebook. You can't miss him.
Yes, sir.
Alvin, thank you, brother.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you. Tomorrow we'll have some pastors, 2 pastors. I can't remember who they are. But we're going to talk about it, okay? Go to Spreaker. It'll be up.
Sir Walter Jones Show. Peace. And I'm out.
Sir Walter Jones Radio Show, where he provides you with a biblical perspective for your everyday life. Stay connected to Sir Walter Jones by visiting him online at www.sirwalterjones.com or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Sir Walter Jones Show. Stay tuned until next time with the Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones.
If you can't find any work, I'll put in a good word for you at my job, man.
You ain't got no job, man.
Yeah, one more time. Randy Watson, how about it?